Nepal just banned social media, and within days, the entire government collapsed. Parliament was on fire, and Gen Z just elected a new leader on Discord. Yes, you heard that right. The same app that most people talk about video games and hang out after work and school is now hosting the political future of a country. I can honestly say I never expected to wake up to this headline from the New York Times, but here we are. Normally, I do not cover anything political, but since this is a foreign nation and also all of this went down on Discord, I thought that I needed to cover this one because this is just a wild story. The fact that this is even happening right now feels like a fever dream to me. Honestly, everything after 2020 is basically a fever dream at this point. But on August 28th, 2025, Nepal's government gave social media companies a deadline. Register with the Ministry of Communication or set up a local compliance office or get shut down. It's kind of like what the US did with TikTok, but on a way larger scale. Instead of just one platform being told to comply with the government's safety standards, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, it was almost all of them. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, X, and so on, but obviously all of them ignored this, so on September 4th, the government pulled the plug, banning 26 major platforms overnight. The move was supposed to tighten control. Instead, it completely lit a match. Literally.
The whole building is burned through!
People were furious, and by people, one particular group was the loudest, Gen Z. Basically, any media coverage here was labeled as the Gen Z revolution, which isn't surprising considering that that's the generation raised on the platforms that Nepal banned practically overnight. Now, the social media ban was the immediate trigger, but this was not the only reason people got this mad. Because obviously this doesn't happen overnight. Something has been brewing for months over corruption, joblessness, and what came to be labeled as Nepo kids. Because on TikTok and Reddit, young Nepalis started posting clips that showed corrupt politicians as children living it up abroad, driving luxury cars, studying abroad, flaunting wealth. And this is all while ordinary Nepalese struggled to find jobs or were forced to migrate overseas for work. I mean, we're talking about a country where 1 in 4 people are below the poverty line. So obviously, this trend put a large group of people's anger at a low boil. And this is also right after the political leaders gave themselves a massive raise. So you have this Marxist-Leninist government giving themselves and their families massive payouts from government funds, and they're whipping around luxury cars while 25% of the people are below the poverty line. So protesters carried signs directly calling these people out as Nepo kids. One viral Reddit post summed up the anger. When you see politicians as children, it feels like taxpayers' money has funded their luxury cars, foreign education, and lifestyle, while ordinary youths are forced to work hard abroad. And clearly, this resonated because Transparency International gave Nepal a corruption score of just 34 out of 100 in 2024, underscoring exactly what people were fed up with. For context, Norway is rated at an 81, the USA is a 65, and the United Kingdom is a 71. So 34 is definitely lacking compared to the Western world. So when the government tried to ban Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, it just wasn't about losing social media. It was about a generation that already felt ignored, broke, and betrayed by the same leaders who've been in charge for decades. And this is why these protests snowballed so fast. The social media blackout poured gasoline on the fire that was already burning. So when the ban hit, tens of thousands of Gen Z Nepalis stormed to the streets chanting, "Stop the ban on social media, stop the corruption, not social media." What started as a digital protest turned into full-blown riots.
Crazy, man.
Oh, you know the youth. Oh, you in Nepal, there's so many leaders, they are so corrupted, and that young is coming and they will do that.
I heard, brother. I heard.
Nepal government deserve this. Yeah. Actually, they deserve this. You know, we don't want to do this by our own choice. We are doing this because they deserve
yes.
this. We can do it. We can. Nepal youth can do it.
This is what Nepal
people can do it, and we will change Nepal.
And please cracked down hard, firing rubber bullets, tear gas, and even live rounds into crowds. Over 300 people were injured, more than 30 people were killed in just days. So tensions spiraled, crowds pushed police back, overturning barricades, fires broke out across crowds, and by nightfall, Parliament itself was burning. I mean, we're talking about a generation who overthrew the government based on an entire trend and the social media being banned. So, what flag did they attach to the burning Parliament? The One Piece flag. Yeah, that's a real image. We live in a fascinating world.
They have done it, yes. You've broken into Parliament. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Within 48 hours, the Home Minister resigned, the Prime Minister stepped down, and the army imposed a curfew. Nepal had no leader, no government, just smoke, grief, and a power vacuum. And here's where things get pretty surreal. With gatherings being banned and soldiers on the streets, young Nepalese turn to Discord to figure out what comes next. So, to quote the literal headline from New York Times, the Parliament of Nepal right now is Discord, the voice communication app. They're not in Discord, or they are in Discord, but they're literally on the app Discord. So, I mean, if you thought I was exaggerating about the beginning of this video, I was not, because just think about the breakdown I just went through. The active part of this revolution, the burning and the gathering in the streets, happened practically overnight. It led to Parliament burning and leadership stepping down. Now, these seats are unfilled. Hell, I mean, pretty much everything about the government now is up in the air. In less than 4 days, the server exploded to over 145,000 members, voice chats, video streams, text debates, all live, all extremely chaotic. It was all done on a Discord server, so this is definitely a very fascinating human experiment. National television even started reporting on what was happening inside of the Discord server, which is called Youths Against Corruption. But again, in true online fashion, you don't have to follow the news to watch what they're actually deciding, because you can watch it live. They're streaming it. I mean, I don't even know what to call this timeline anymore, because what do you even mean? The government was overthrown for banning social media, and now the new government is actively being decided on Discord? Okay. The server was ran by Hami Nepal, a civic group that helped organize protests. Moderators, some literally fresh out of high school, suddenly found themselves leading the country's most important conversation. These dudes might actually be known as the Discord founding fathers of Nepal. We are living in such a fascinating timeline. But moderator Sashwat Lamanchani explained the point was to simulate a kind of mini election. And by the way, Sashwat, the moderator, graduated high school just a few months ago. So this is just incredible. Names were floated on who they should elect. They threw out people like Sagar Dakal, a young political candidate, Kulman Gingsing, a former head of Nepal's electricity authority, and even former Chief Justice Shushila Karki joined the live call. So active politicians were on this call to campaign, I guess. And after hours of debating and multiple polls, the Discord group coincided around Karki as their interim choice. And here's the kicker. The army actually met with Discord organizers and then with Karki herself alongside of Nepal's president. Think of that. Generals sitting down with a nominee chosen on the same platform most of us use for gaming. But it wasn't just smooth sailing, because open servers meant trolls, outsiders, random people screaming into VC. At times, the moderators were panicking, saying, in quote, "Please decide on a representative right now, we do not have time." One participant, Samdeep Yadav, described it as very disorganized, like a random social media call. Well, it was all on Discord, so what do you expect here? But still, the fact remained, in a moment of total collapse, a Discord server had become the most important room in Nepal. Experts say this is completely unheard of. And to them, I say, yeah, no shit. This is crazy, which is why I wanted to cover it here on this channel. Stephen Feldstein of the Carnegie Endowment called it pretty unprecedented and pointed out that while social media is great at mobilizing protests, it rarely produces stable political structures. So Nepal is just this like extremely fascinating social experiment right now. What's gonna happen? We'll definitely be paying attention. But in Nepal, this Gen Z-led Discord parliament has already influenced the army and shaped the next interim leaderships. So he can only critique it so much. So again, we just kind of have to wait and see what happens. The most ironic part is that the government banned social media to silence people and ended up making the internet the center of political power. So Nepal just became the first country where Discord helped elect a government. And by the way, now they have officially elected this lady. So I guess next time someone calls someone a Discord mod with no life, just remind them, hey, watch it. They might overthrow a government. Because in Nepal, that's exactly what happened. So hey, subscribe if you're new, drop a like if you enjoyed this breakdown. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.